We launched in August 2013, so it's going to be almost 2 years, 3 months from now. And after 3 months, after almost 2 years, what we now have is offices in Lagos, Senegal, Kenya, in Nairobi. We have more than 20,000 hotels signed directly with us, contracts in Africa, which probably makes us already the biggest online travel agency in terms of hotels in Africa. When you deal with numbers like that, I cannot complain. It's been a pretty nice ride.
And which markets have been best in terms of?
Since inception, we focus on the sub-Saharan belt, because North Africa is already a more developed market in terms of tourism. Same thing with South Africa. We, being a part of Africa Internet Group and then Rocket Internet, we always like to enter frontier markets and have the first mover advantage. Of course, with all the challenges of a first mover. But this is the market that we wanted to set ourselves up in the beginning, sub-Saharan belt. So.
Okay, and you must have come across some interesting travel habits and trends, and a lot of the data that you've probably amalgamated since you started. Do you want to share some of those?
Well, we started in Nigeria, and Nigeria still remains one of our biggest markets. What's peculiar about Nigeria is that this is not a touristic market per se, but there's a lot of movement in terms of business travel. You know, whenever there's a boost in economy, there's always a boost in hospitality sector as well. Nigeria last year has been the fastest growing hospitality market in the world in terms of how many hotels have been opened or how many hotels have been contracted to be built.
And what's the plan for Jovago across Africa? I know you've mentioned you've launched in a number of other markets. Longer term, is it to launch across all African markets? Obviously some are behind in terms of internet penetration.
Well, we never were thinking about the country. There needs to be a big potential. We need to see growth, and we need to see a chance for us to become the first player in that particular country. We definitely want to remain the biggest online travel agency in terms of inventory of hotels, because at the end of the day, our customer relies on the possibility to choose the best value for money. And in order to provide that biggest inventory, we have to expand and also go to new countries. That's definitely what we're going to do. Do we want to also come to countries that are already more saturated maybe, or more developed? I wouldn't say yes or no. Everything depends on our customer, because once you have built an interesting enough portfolio of customers, you work with them, you provide them with service, you learn their habits and you learn their needs. If, for example, we're going to have a huge portfolio of Nigerian customers that we see are traveling to a destination that we're not there yet and are forced to use our competition, then why wouldn't we do that? Why wouldn't we also go there just to retain this particular group of customers? So it's always an open question. We never say no, but our focus is to especially help in developing those markets that are not there yet.
Okay. And specifically, I mean, you've been running Nigeria for the last couple of years. Just interested to hear the challenges in running an online travel business in Nigeria, and what have you encountered?
I think there are two main challenges. When we look about the statistics of Nigeria in terms of internet penetration, mobile usage, smartphone numbers, etc., these numbers are pretty impressive. But the problem lies really behind those numbers. Many customers have a smartphone and have a daily access to the internet. The question is, how many of these customers are using those tools not only to send a message on WhatsApp or check the news? How many of them have already been doing some online purchases? How many of them have been doing some online payments? This is not so great yet, which basically makes us do much more offline marketing and much more educational marketing in order to build the customer database for ourselves. Many times, customers who book hotel online on Jovago, these are customers that did their first online purchase ever. Of course, this is much harder to do, but also gives us a higher chance of retaining that customer and having that loyalty of our local brand. There's also a challenge in terms of our suppliers, which means hotels. Most of hotels, especially outside Lagos, in the province, in other countries, and in other states in Nigeria, and also in other countries like Ghana or or Ivory Coast, especially outside bigger cities, they don't really use computer in order to manage these hotels on a daily basis, which makes it harder for us to communicate with them. Many times when there's a booking made by our customer and we have to make sure that the room will be waiting for our customer, we have to either call the hotel or send a text message, or sometimes even when network doesn't work, send our representative in that particular region, just to make sure that our customer will have that great first experience, and will make him stay with us and book, next time another hotel.
And in terms of payments, how's that been for you?
For an online travel agency at ours, the ideal situation would be when customer pays online. Then we can secure our commission, we can pay the booking fee for the hotel, and there's also a higher probability that the customer will eventually visit that hotel and check in. But it wouldn't be possible to grow as fast as we want to grow if we could rely only on those customers that are not afraid of making payments online yet. So Jovago, as the first online travel agency in Africa, if I remember properly, we introduced the post-payment solution, where all the customer needs to do is leave his contact details, email and phone number and name, and he can pay only when he checks in at that particular hotel. And what we have observed is that once he does it once, maybe twice, then he gets used to the whole service, builds more trust. We have the chance to communicate that paying online, sometimes it's even easier and maybe even more safe than paying offline. Imagine going with a suitcase of cash in the evening to a hotel outside, somewhere in the suburbs, right? After some time, we're able to communicate and educate the customer in order to pay online before. And the numbers are growing not so fast, but they are growing steadily. I could say 5% month over month. We could see the increase of percentage of our customers booking hotel and paying online. So this is something promising.